The sky above Horizon 7 shimmered with the light of distant suns. Marcus Hale stood on the observation deck, staring at the horizon of the thriving colony below. Humans had worked for decades to build this world into a place of life and hope. Cities sparkled with energy. Transport ships hummed through the sky, and children played in open fields under the artificial blue of the planet's dome. For Marcus, it was more than a mission station. It felt like home. But peace is fragile, and in the silence of space, danger often waits where you least expect it. The first warning came as a faint tremor in the colony's communication system. A soft alarm blinked on Marcus's console, then another. Soon, red lights flashed across the control panel. The aliens were here. No one knew how they had found Horizon 7 so quickly. No human ship had reported them approaching. Then the sky itself seemed to shatter. Enormous alien warships appeared from the darkness, moving faster than anything humanity had ever built. Their hulls were black, smooth, and shimmering with an energy that seemed alive. They descended without hesitation. "Everyone to shelters," Marcus shouted into the comms. "This is not a drill." The colony's defenses responded automatically, firing turrets and launching drones, but it was like fighting shadows. The aliens moved too fast, their weapons cutting through shields and structures with terrifying precision. Buildings that had taken decades to build were destroyed in minutes. Marcus ran through the command center, helping officers relay evacuation orders. Families scrambled to safety. Transport ships launched into orbit, but panic spread faster than any ship could fly. He caught sight of Lieutenant Sarah Kim, one of the colony's engineers, struggling to protect a group of children. Marcus grabbed her arm. "We need to get them to the shelters now." Sarah nodded, fear and determination in her eyes. Together, they led the children through corridors trembling from the alien bombardment. Explosions shook the ground, sending debris flying. Marcus ducked instinctively as a wall collapsed behind them, narrowly avoiding being crushed. The aliens were everywhere. Ships hovered above the city, firing beams that vaporized anything in their path. On the ground, their machines, tall, skeletal, and fast, marched through streets scanning for survivors. Marcus realized that this was not just an attack. It was a calculated annihilation. He reached the main shelter with the children and Sarah pounding on the heavy door controls. Lights flickered. Alarms echoed. Come on," he muttered. Finally, the doors slid open and the children rushed inside. Marcus and Sarah followed, taking a deep breath. The shelter was packed with frightened colonists. Marcus tried to comfort them, but even his own heart pounded with fear. Outside, the colony burned. Explosions lit the sky and the sound of collapsing buildings filled the air. He could only imagine what was happening to the families who hadn't made it to the shelters in time. Suddenly, the comms crackled. "Lieutenant Hale, this is Command. Horizon 7 is under total assault. All colonies are reporting attacks. We need intel on the alien fleet. Can you survive long enough to get it?" Marcus clenched his fists. "Yes, sir. I'll do whatever it takes." He knew the task would be nearly impossible. The aliens had already destroyed Horizon 7's communication tower, but he couldn't let humanity lose. He gathered a small team of soldiers and engineers, preparing to escape the shelter and reach the planet's orbital relay station. It was their only chance to send critical information back to Earth. As they moved through the city's tunnels, Marcus watched the destruction. Skyscrapers crumbled like sandcastles. Vehicles were burned and twisted, and fires painted the night sky orange and red. He felt a mixture of sorrow and anger. Humanity had built this colony from nothing, and now it was being erased. The team reached the transport hangar. Marcus activated a small shuttle, checking the fuel levels and systems. Sarah joined him at the cockpit. "Do you really think we can make it?" she asked, voice trembling. "We have to try," Marcus said firmly. "If we don't, Earth will never know what happened here, and the rest of the colonies could fall too." They launched into the sky just as an alien ship passed overhead, firing a beam that tore through the hangar. The shuttle shuddered violently but held together. Marcus pushed the controls to maximum, dodging debris and enemy fire. Above the city, the alien fleet was immense. Marcus could barely believe the scale. Hundreds of ships, organized like a deadly swarm, moved with precision. It was clear they had studied humanity's tactics and knew exactly how to strike. "Get the data uplink ready," Marcus shouted over the alarms. Sarah worked quickly. transferring schematics, energy readings, and tactical information into a secure data core. Almost done. Just a few more seconds, she said. A sudden tremor shook the shuttle. Marcus looked out the viewport to see an alien fighter swerving toward them. He gritted his teeth and fired the shuttle's defensive lasers. The fighter erupted in a flash of light spinning into space. "We can't stop them all," Marcus muttered. "We just have to survive long enough to send this." Finally, the data core finished uploading. The relay station confirmed receipt. Earth had the information. Marcus felt a small surge of relief. Humanity would know the truth. The aliens were organized, strategic, and intent on erasing every human colony. But there was no time to celebrate. Another wave of alien ships was approaching, faster and larger than before. Marcus adjusted the shuttle's trajectory, planning a risky jump to a nearby asteroid field where they could hide and regroup. Sarah glanced at him. "Do you really think we can fight them?" Marcus looked at the stars. "I don't know if we can fight them now, but I know we will find a way. Humanity doesn't give up. We survive, we fight, we rise again." As the shuttle dove into the asteroid field, alien beams slicing the space around them, Marcus made a silent promise to himself. If humanity could survive the stars, they would not be defeated. Not now, not ever. Outside, Horizon 7 burned. Inside, Marcus held the last spark of hope for a human race scattered across the galaxy. The fall of the colonies was only the beginning, and Earth's response would be the story of humanity's greatest fight yet. The asteroid field stretched endlessly, a chaotic maze of rock and ice spinning through space. Marcus Hale piloted the small shuttle with careful precision, weaving between massive boulders while alien ships patrolled the edges of the field. The glow of distant explosions still lit the sky behind them, a reminder of the colonies they had lost. "We can't stay here forever," Marcus said, his eyes scanning the sensors. "They'll find us eventually." Sarah Kim nodded, her fingers flying over the controls of the data core. "At least the information reached Earth. They know what we're facing now." Marcus exhaled slowly. "Yes, but knowing is not enough. We need to strike back, and we need to strike smart." For the next few days, the shuttle remained hidden in the asteroid field. Marcus's team used the time to study the data they had collected, learning the patterns of the alien fleet. It was relentless but predictable in some ways. Every sector relied on a central command node, and if that node could be destroyed, it would create chaos in the enemy lines. Marcus gathered his team in the shuttle's cramped cabin. "This is our chance. If we hit their command nodes, we can slow them down and protect other colonies. But it won't be easy. We'll be outnumbered and we'll face resistance at every step." Engineer Lieutenant Kim looked determined. "We've seen worse. The colonies taught us that." "Exactly," Marcus said. "And we survive because we adapt. We fight with our brains as much as our weapons." Their plan was daring. Marcus's team would board an alien supply ship disguised with stealth technology, sneak inside their network of ships, and destroy the first command node. It was risky. Failure meant death. But success could give humanity its first victory in months. The moment of action came sooner than expected. The alien supply ship drifted close to the asteroid field, scanning for resources. Marcus activated the shuttle's cloaking system and they moved silently toward it. "Steady, steady," Marcus whispered, hands tight on the controls. The shuttle's small size allowed it to slip past the ship's outer defenses. Marcus guided it into a docking bay and the team prepared for boarding. Once inside, the interior was dark and metallic, filled with alien technology that pulsed with light. The walls vibrated with energy, and strange symbols flickered across panels. Marcus signaled the team to move carefully. They navigated corridors, avoiding patrols of alien drones. The drones moved quickly, but their sensors had gaps that Marcus had studied from the data. Step by step, they moved deeper into the heart of the ship. Finally, they reached the central command node. It was larger than they imagined, a glowing orb of energy suspended in the air. Connected to countless wires and alien devices, Marcus approached cautiously. "Sarah, set the explosives. Everyone else cover her." Sarah worked quickly, her hands steady despite the tension. Marcus and the team prepared to defend the node. The hum of alien machinery filled the room, a constant reminder that failure was not an option. Then the alarms sounded. A patrol of alien soldiers appeared in the corridor. Marcus raised his weapon. "Get ready!" The fight was swift and chaotic. The aliens moved fast, but they had not expected humans to infiltrate their ship. Marcus's team worked together, covering each other, dodging energy blasts and returning fire with precise shots. Within moments, the corridor was cleared. Sarah pressed the final button and the explosives were armed. "Everyone out, now!" Marcus shouted. The team raced back to the shuttle, running through the twisting corridors of the alien ship. Explosions shook the hull, sending sparks and debris flying. Finally, they reached the shuttle and blasted off into space just as the alien command node detonated. The shockwave rippled through the nearby alien ships, sending them into disarray. Sensors failed, communications were lost, and the fleet slowed. Marcus allowed himself a brief moment of relief. Humanity had struck back, and the first victory was theirs, but there was no time to celebrate. Marcus knew the aliens would retaliate. He turned to his team. "We did well, but this is only the beginning. We need to find more survivors and prepare for the next strike. Humanity doesn't wait for luck. We make our own." Over the next several weeks, Marcus led missions across nearby star systems. They rescued colonists hiding on remote planets, repaired damaged ships, and gathered intelligence on the alien fleet. Each successful mission strengthened morale and gave hope to those who had lost everything. Stories of bravery spread across the human survivors. Colonists who had once feared the alien attacks now joined the fight, bringing skills, knowledge, and courage. Humanity was no longer scattered and hopeless. They were becoming a united force, a spark of resistance in the darkness of space. One night, Marcus watched the stars from the cockpit of the shuttle. Sarah joined him silently. "Do you ever think about the ones we couldn't save?" she asked softly. "All the time," Marcus admitted. "But thinking won't help anyone. What we do now, what we fight for, that's how we honor them. Humanity doesn't give up, not even when everything seems lost." Sarah nodded, her eyes reflecting the distant light of a burning colony on the far horizon. "Then let's make sure the aliens never forget that either." Their next mission was the most dangerous yet. Marcus had discovered the location of the aliens' main fleet command station, deep in uncharted space. It was heavily defended, and failure would mean the end of everything they had fought for. Marcus gathered the team again. "This is it. If we succeed, we can protect other colonies and turn the tide of the war. If we fail, we may never get another chance." The shuttle left the asteroid field, engines glowing against the darkness of space. Marcus felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders, but also the strength of human resilience behind him. They had lost so much, yet they were still standing. As the fleet's command station grew larger on the view screen, Marcus's heart raced. The battle ahead would be the hardest of their lives, but humanity had learned a lesson the aliens had not expected. Humans fought not just for survival, but for hope, unity, and the right to live among the stars. The shuttle accelerated toward the enemy station, Marcus gripping the controls. "Let's show them what humans are made of," he said. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, silent witnesses to the rise of a human force that refused to be erased. The war was far from over, but the first victories had been won and the spark of resistance had begun to blaze across the galaxy. The main alien fleet command station loomed ahead like a dark fortress, suspended in the void of deep space. Marcus Hale gripped the shuttle's controls, feeling a mix of tension and determination. This was it, the mission that could turn the tide of the war or end humanity's chance to survive among the stars. Behind him, the rest of his strike team prepared for the final assault. Sarah Kim checked the weapon systems one last time. "Everything is ready," she said. "Let's make it count," Marcus nodded. "We fight smart, we fight together, and we fight to survive. Humanity doesn't back down." The shuttle approached the station's perimeter and immediately, alien defenses activated. Energy beams crisscrossed the void, and drones swarmed outward. Marcus steered the shuttle with expert precision, dodging blasts and debris. Each second was a battle of reflexes and courage. "Hold steady," Marcus shouted. The shuttle's shields flared under the impact of alien fire, sparks dancing across the viewport. He adjusted the trajectory and activated a small diversion charge. The explosion drew several drones away, clearing a path toward the station's docking bay. Inside the station, corridors twisted like a maze, lined with alien machinery glowing with eerie light. Marcus and his team moved quickly, scanning for patrols. The alien soldiers were formidable, fast, precise, and relentless, but humans had learned to anticipate their movements. Each member of the team covered the other, combining strategy with bravery. At the heart of the station, the central command node pulsed with energy. This was the source of the fleet's coordination, the key to its power. Marcus glanced at Sarah. Place the charges. Everyone else defend the perimeter. The team worked quickly. Alarms rang out as alien soldiers approached, but human teamwork and determination held the line. Blasts echoed through the chamber, sparks flying as weapons met alien armor. Marcus fired carefully, disabling enemies while minimizing risk to his team. Finally, Sarah armed the explosives. It's done, she said, her voice steady despite the chaos. Get out. Now, Marcus shouted. They raced through the corridors, dodging blasts and falling debris. The station shook violently as the explosives detonated. The command node erupted in a massive pulse of energy, sending shockwaves across the station. Systems failed, and the alien fleet's coordination began to crumble. Outside, the alien ships floundered. Without the central node, their formations broke apart. Some collided, others fled, and the human fleet, mobilized from nearby colonies, attacked with precision. Earth's forces had learned from every loss, and now they struck with unity and courage. Marcus's shuttle navigated through the chaos, guiding his team back toward the human fleet. The battle raged across multiple star systems. Explosions lit the darkness, and energy beams cut through space like streaks of fire. Yet for the first time, humans held the advantage. Strategy, ingenuity, and determination outweighed the aliens' raw power. Marcus watched as Allied ships disabled alien vessels from multiple angles, cutting them off and forcing retreats. Colonists who had survived the initial attacks joined the fight, piloting vessels with skill and bravery. Humanity's resolve had become unstoppable. One alien ship, larger and more heavily armed than the others, turned to intercept Marcus's shuttle. Hold on, he muttered. The ship fired, and energy beams struck the shuttle, throwing it off course. Marcus fought to regain control, his team helping to stabilize systems. With careful maneuvering, they dodged another blast and fired the shuttle's weapons. A well-placed shot disabled the alien engines, sending the vessel spinning into space. Every victory, every successful strike, gave hope to the humans watching from afar. Humanity was not just surviving, they were proving that their spirit could overcome even the most advanced adversaries. Hours later, after relentless battles, the alien fleet was broken. The remaining ships either fled to uncharted space or were destroyed. The once mighty armada that had wiped out colonies across the galaxy was gone. Marcus and his team floated in the quiet void, catching their breath. Sarah looked at the stars, still glowing with distant fires. We did it, she whispered. Marcus nodded. We survived. Humanity survived. And we've sent a message. No one can erase us from the stars. The fleet returned to the remaining colonies, offering aid and rebuilding what had been lost. Marcus visited Horizon 7, the colony he had once barely escaped. Ruins stretched across the planet, but humans had already begun to rebuild. Survivors worked together, repairing buildings, restoring energy systems, and planting new crops. Children played among the rubble, laughter rising like a promise that life would continue. Marcus walked through the streets, helping where he could, sharing stories of the battle and the courage of those who had fought. He met colonists who had hidden for weeks, terrified but alive. Each story was a reminder of humanity's resilience. On the observation deck of the colony's main building, Marcus looked at the stars once more. Sarah joined him silently, and together they watched as ships from Earth and Allied colonies patrolled the skies, ensuring safety and security. Marcus turned to her. The aliens thought they could destroy us. They thought we would be afraid. But they underestimated one thing. Humanity doesn't give up. We survive, we adapt, and we fight back. Always. Sarah smiled, hope and pride shining in her eyes. And now the stars belong to us, Marcus nodded. Not just belong to us. We protect them. We make them ours with courage, intelligence, and unity. Humanity has been tested, and we have risen stronger than ever. As night fell on Horizon 7, the colony no longer felt like a place lost in the shadows of destruction. It was a symbol of human determination. From the ashes of ruined colonies to the quiet victories in space, humanity had proven itself. They could not be erased. And as Marcus looked toward Earth, he knew this was only the beginning. Humanity would spread across the galaxy not with fear but with strength, courage, and the unbreakable spirit that had carried them through the darkest hours.